2.0 underscore Fernley says, Sir, how to improve my self-confidence? Well, that's a really good question. Now, I wonder, Fernley, if you're talking about your self-confidence in general or your self-confidence as an English speaker. I would really hesitate to give you advice about self-confidence in general because I don't know if I'm qualified to do that. I can say a couple things about it. But for English, I can absolutely say some things that I think might help you. Okay? So for self-confidence in general, you have to ask first, why do you not feel confident? What is it? I think the reason that a lot of people don't feel confident is that they're always taking the perspective of other people and viewing themselves through the eyes of other people as they view themselves. So in other words, you know what all of your flaws are. You know all of the things about yourself that maybe you don't like or you'd like to improve. Everybody has things about themselves that they want to improve, right? But when you take the perspective of other people and look at yourself through their eyes, in a way, which is something we all do as part of social interaction, you carry the knowledge of all of your flaws with you into that perspective, right? So in other words, you give a presentation or you're at work in a meeting, whatever it is, these social interactions, when you try to view how they feel about you, you are adding to that thing that you're doing all of the things that you know about yourself, both your strengths, but especially your weaknesses. And that amplifies a feeling of nervousness, right, of being judged. But the reality is they don't have that knowledge. They don't have complete knowledge of who you are as a person because they've got their own problems to worry about, and they're not usually judging you nearly as harshly as you think they are, right? Of course, people make rude comments and people say mean things and people are critical. I'm very critical of other people, right? But when I'm critical of other people, I have no strong emotion about it usually. I usually just say what I think and move on because I'm really thinking about myself and my own day and what's going on with me and my own anxieties, right? That's true in general. So even when you feel judged, even then, even when you get those sorts of comments of people who say maybe something is not as good as you thought it was going to be or whatever it is, some sort of critical comment, even then, that person is probably just saying it and then going right back to thinking about themselves and their day and their own little world. Most people live in their own little world and think mostly about how things affect themselves. That's natural. Now, does that have any connection to how we communicate in English and being confident or feeling confident when we speak English? Yes, it does. It does. It's the same kind of thing. So a lot of people are afraid to speak English, even though they're pretty comfortable with it, and they feel like if they were sitting down by themselves writing an email, they feel like, oh yeah, I can very easily write an email, no problem. No one is watching me. But when I'm in the moment, in the situation, and eyes are on me, suddenly I tense up. I can't say things correctly. I sound weird. It doesn't sound natural. What is going on? Why is there this difference? Well, part of it is that you are placing, in the same way that you might do that for self-confidence in general, placing a kind of judgment that you have about yourself into the minds of other people who are hearing you speak. And that isn't necessarily true about them. In fact, it's probably not true about them. Even if they make critical comments about you, it's still not true. Most people, 99.9% of people, don't care if you say something wrong. And you think that they're thinking about you much more than they're actually thinking about you. They're not thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. Most people are thinking about themselves all the time. right? They're probably thinking about how you might be judging them about how good of a judge they are of you, right? That's more likely. So that's very liberating to know. Most people care about themselves. They don't care about you in that way. They're not walking around thinking, oh, that idiot who said that thing that was wrong today. I can't believe that she used the past tense instead of the present tense. It ruined my day. It's ruining my whole day. No, that person may have not even caught it, but if they did catch it, they certainly don't care as long as you're communicating. And there are people who realize this. There are many people who have learned English to a fairly low level who communicate very effectively because they just don't care what other people may or may not be thinking about them. They've realized this, that this person over there, they don't really care if I make a mistake or not. It doesn't bother them as long as we're communicating. And that's the right attitude to have. And once you've really, really realized that, you can relax. But it gives those people an advantage because even though their English might be at a lower level, they are the ones making friends. They're the ones who seem relaxed. They're the ones who seem confident. And that confidence is getting them places. It's helping them accomplish things, right? It's helping them do things. And the person who's studied English for 10 years who's really good is afraid to say anything and doesn't get anywhere and wonders, why is it that someone with lower English than me is doing better than me? It's because of their attitude. It's because they've realized this, right? So that's one part of it, the attitude part. And the other part is just practice, right? The more you do something, the more you practice it, the more comfortable you get with it. So you need to, whenever you have the opportunity to practice, to speak, to communicate, even if it's not with native English speakers, whenever you have the opportunity, take it. If you're in a group discussion, if you're in a meetup group, whatever it is. And now, more than any time before, ever, there are opportunities to practice communicating in English. There are thousands and thousands of meetup groups happening every single day in your country and other countries that you can join and participate in and practice discussing. So my rule there would be, when it comes to communicating, in order to get the level of comfort that you need, you have to practice a lot. And to do that, my suggestion would be always take the path of most resistance. In other words, if you have the chance and you could do or not do, and doing is hard and not doing is easy, always do. Always do the thing. Always choose the slightly more difficult road, because always choosing the slightly more difficult road, always choosing the uncomfortable path, always challenging yourself creates this effect of you gaining confidence, and then because you gain confidence, you gain skill, and because you gain skill, you gain confidence, and it's this positive feedback loop. But if you always choose the path of least resistance, then you get into this habit pattern of, it's a kind of laziness. Of, maybe next time. Well, next time. Next time. Well, maybe next time. It's too hard. So what you're doing is making it harder and harder and harder because you're in the habit of being, it's lazy. You're in the habit of being lazy. You're lazy. I know someone who really, really wanted to start a YouTube channel and asked me for advice, right? How do I start? I got to get ready. I got to get my camera, everything set up. How do I start? And my advice was, film a video right now. What? I don't have a plan? No, right now. Film a video right now. You have to get over that fear, that feeling of fear right away. And then you'll find that once you do that one, then you can do the next one. That one, you can do the next one, right? And my friend said, I need to be ready. I'm going to buy some equipment first. I need to be ready. So my friend got ready, got all the equipment, and I need to work on my script, and put it off so long that it never happened. Now it's 3 years later, and that friend had never did it. Has plenty of equipment, plenty of video scripts, never actually sat down, turned on the camera, and started talking. Why? Because she got into the habit pattern of saying, I'll do the easier thing right now, and in the future, once I'm ready, I'll do the hard thing. That doesn't work. Do the hard thing all the time, right now, and then all of the hard things are little hard things, rather than one huge hard thing after a year of a habit of laziness, of doing the easy thing, right? So that's my general advice for self-confidence in speaking English and in general. And I think the basic rule is do the harder thing whenever you can. And the other one is nobody cares about you in that way, in the judgment sort of way. No one is thinking about you all day in the way of negatively thinking about you, judging you, right? Nobody cares. It's fine. If you make mistakes, don't worry about it. You actually shouldn't care what people think in that sense, So I hope that helps. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, of course, and check out my full courses in the links in the description. Full English courses. Check those out.